What up, figure freaks? How you doing? Doing another action figure review. Today we're doing the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 SUNSPOT. Retro carded from the animated series, which I simply loved. This is the first of the series that I have received. I actually got this on Amazon. I kind of feel it could potentially be like an army builder. Look at the rest of the wave here. We got Logan, Jubilee, Morph, Emma Frost, and Cable. Not a bad set. I think I'm most excited for Morph, this Sunspot, as well as Cable. We'll see about that Emma. We'll see if it's worthy enough to replace the Hellfire Club version. That Logan looks pretty cool. And I think Jubilee does need an update. So maybe I'm excited for all of them. So we got Roberto da Costa. Let's look at the front here. He's got the kind of the New Mutants training suit. Instead of the blue and yellow, we have black and yellow. So this is awesome. Let's rip this guy open. Out of the box, we have our Sunspot figure all deployed, and we got accessories. Looks like these are both new, like fire throwing molds. So this one's going in pretty deep. Bigger than the usual ones, which I guess we can show you right now. Something like that, right? And then we got this one, which is pretty cool. I think he's just supposed to hold this in like the palm, maybe upright like this, and his fingers kind of slide through underneath there. But this is pretty new and different. Look at that. You got little balls down there. Little, maybe you could say sunspots, huh? Sure. Then we have these open power wielding hands. And our figure. Honestly, right now, first impression, this guy feels like cheap plastic. I'm not sure I like the look. There's some little like mishaps, like just like that, which hopefully I can get some. God, my thumb is looking gnarly. Some paint thinner or rubbing alcohol on that, and it goes bye-bye. And I'm sure I can hit it with a paint pen. We got stuff like that down there. I don't know, I can take care of business, but it's still annoying. Otherwise, it looks okay. It's kind of like a faded yellow. It's not as bright and vibrant as our previous yellows for a lot of our X-Men figures. So I guess they just kind of went a different route with that yellow. It's just kind of a dull yellow. And then when I say cheap, I'm not saying this is a piece of shit figure. It's just like this. The molding here just looks very like not attention to detail. You have this boot cut here. Got some Donald Duck, like duck bill feet. Not to complain, it's just I don't know, it just feels like a little cheap figure. But and then also, I don't know, like that. I know, like, you know, kids got lots of hair, but is that necessary? Like that whole little thing, like on top there, like I just think they could have just left that off there. I don't know. But other than those two little spots, the paint looks pretty good. I do like the black and yellow. I just wish the yellow was a little brighter. We'll show you in some comparisons, but let's go through the articulation. It is kind of up to the normal standards. He does look down very well. He does look up very well. He does have the stomach crunch as well as the diaphragm swivel. So when you want to make him bend down, I mean, wow. Right? He could almost lick his own ass. So if he was into that shit. I'm not saying he is. But he can bend back like that. You know, kind of looks a little weird. But we got the shoulders that go up about like that. Spin around. We got the double jointed elbows. Pinless, of course. And we just got the twist as well as the pivot down there on the wrist. Got those hip joints. Kind of skinny legs, thigh cut, double jointed knees. He can pretty much kick his own butt. And then, of course, you saw the boot cut. And then you got the tilt and pivot on the ankle rocker. So, not a bad figure. I'm just not falling in love with it. This hair thing is just kind of mind-boggling. Was that like some new age man bun that I don't know about? It just like, it looks like a girl's hair. Sorry, but why? So, I mean, not a bad looking figure. It just looks skinny and kind of small. And honestly, it just feels kind of standard to me. But the articulation is nice. You're going to be able to put him in some serious good poses. So he's going to get some points for that. I just think some of the choices made here were kind of odd. But it does look like a nice buck. You know, I just don't know about these. Kind of looks on the cheap there. I don't know. Let's swap a hand. I want to see what he can do here with these effects. So we're going to go with this guy. And we're going to do the fire fist as well. Put that on there. Wow. Can that even go up in there? Come on now. Ah! You're playing with fire. Not bad, not bad. I mean, I guess these new moldings for the fire effects are pretty cool. That's somewhat new and interesting, inventive, I guess. Different way to hold the power effects, so they're thinking about it at least. You know, paint's not horrible except for those spots. The articulation's pretty dang nice. The molding's good. I just feel the hair is a little weird. And the yellow just feels dull to me, I guess. Maybe that's why it looks cheap in my eyes. I just don't know. I'm not gonna like totally destroy this figure. I think it's a decent figure. And when I say has potential for an army builder, I'm thinking New Mutants. So like, what if you get the black kind of spotty Sunspot head, or maybe a Sam Guthrie Cannonball, or Cypher, Doug Ramsey, I think it is. Is that who it is? He's like Warlock's buddy. But we're going to play around with that kind of idea. We're just going to go right into comparisons here. Right now, I'm going to give this figure a 6.5. It might grow on me, so we could switch it up and see what happens. So first, let's bring out the X-Force Sunspot here. So there we have a pretty interesting comparison. Of course, he is in a, this is the comic book version. This is the cartoon version. But in this one, he is older. He's an X-Force. He's hardened. He's been trained by Cable. He's badass. I do actually like this figure. Would like it in an updated buck, but I just like, all the effects back here. I wish they would do maybe just the all black one, like where it's just top to bottom all black, no mask up here, just like, and then these things just kind of seeping off everywhere, off the arms, off the legs. That would be kind of sweet. Maybe give him the yellow boots like this, just all black, and then these yellow swashbucklers. That wouldn't be bad. So that could be fun. Let's try a head swap right now, okay? Let's try it. Let's check it out here. Oh, is this guy not gonna come off? There we go. We'll try a little switcheroo. But I just want to see what it looks like. It's not going on. Sorry, I gotta go off camera and try to muscle this thing in there. Nope, it's not. It doesn't want to budge. Give it one more shot here. Alright, we can edit that shit out. Well, how's that look? That's all right, that's doable. You just gotta hide that neck or paint it, which is pretty easy if you want to commit this figure to something like that, but think about it first. All right, here we got Sunspot next to the X-Men 97 Wolverine and the training suit 3-pack Jubilee. And this is kind of what I wanted to point out was these yellows. Like this yellow pops. It's bright. It goes really good with the blue. Maybe they're trying to dull down this yellow to kind of go more with the black. I don't know. That's a possibility. It just seems kind of silly and redundant to me. But yeah, it's just this really pops, and this just maybe they want to accentuate the black. I don't know. This yellow is not bad either, but it just seems like this is the way to go. We're seeing a lot of yellow, obviously, because X-Men, with like Banshees coming out and like that new Cable, and you're seeing a lot of blue and yellow, and yeah, it just seems like it's been developing over the years, and it just seems like this yellow is almost like a step back, but maybe they just meant to make it kind of dull. That's just the way it feels to me. Let's bring in some other New Mutant characters. Here we have Sunspot with some new accessories. I gave him the fire back from the Human Torch and these, I think, the MCU Captain Marvel fireballs. So, doing everything I can to make this guy look cooler. But just next to him, we have 2 examples of army builders. So they're both Walgreens exclusive. On the left here, we have the New Mutants, which was packed with the name Danny Moonstar on it, but you also got the Karma head and the Wolfsbane head, as well as the Wolfsbane's claws and the bow. So you could buy 3 of these and make one Danny Moonstar with the bow and this head. Get the hairy hands and the Wolfsbane head, and then the Karma head, which I really like, actually. Like, I love. Look, check out those eyes. Look at that shit. Pretty cool. And then I got this power effect from Ken O'Beams, so nice purchase there, I would say. And then over here on the right, we have the Cuckoos, which I think were Walgreens exclusives as well. And they got some funky eyes as well. Whoa, rolling in the back of her head. Ah, fentanyl. You know, same thing here. You could buy 3 of them because each individual came with all 3 of these heads, and then different hands, and then these power effects, which are pretty cool. They're telepathic and I think telekinetic, just like Jean. They kind of were understudies of Emma Frost, but there's actually 5 of them. So if you really wanted to, you could buy 5 of these figures and plop some other heads, maybe some other random heads like Emma's head or a fucking Psylocke head or something, just to make them look a little different, just to create some contrast there. But 2 of them got killed off in the comics, so I just got 3. I was like, I don't really need 5. Sometimes I regret it, but you know, whatever. So we got the blonde, we got the brown haired with the bob, and then we got the redhead, the wild one here. I just kind of have them each in one like different stance. They got their boarding school little mini skirts on. So yeah, there's potential for this guy. You just have to find the right accessories and heads to make what you wanted. Well, you know how I said I thought these figures were kind of cheap? Well, look at this. These aren't even glued on. Like, they just have these little, like, things sticking out, and they kind of work themselves into this groove here. So, I don't know. Kind of strange. Kind of the cheapskate. But yeah, they come off pretty easily. But you want to line that up with that. It kind of goes in like that. Boom. Not saying they're cheap, but remember when I said these things felt cheap? Well, boom. These just pop off. Now there's like kind of a little wedge in there, and then you just got to kind of match it up with this. You kind of see that indentation there. So you're just going to take this and you're going to slide it on there. Just like so. But yeah, these things come off quite easily. So it's no bother as long as you got the hands in there, right? But still. Doesn't feel the greatest. So just putting on some other effects here. Let's see how this one looks. Shall we? Meh. Here we just got 3 other members of the X-Men from the same line, the X-Men 97 series. We got Wolverine as well as Bishop from the first wave, Nightcrawler from the second wave, and then we got Sunspot for wave 3. Which, what could be coming in wave 4 if we get a wave 4? Is wave 3 just to kind of hold us over, just to tide us over until we get wave 4, which is going to be kind of focused on season 2? What could we get? Could we get a Bastion? You know, like what if we got a Colossus? Exodus, perhaps? That would be nice. But yeah, I love that season of X-Men 97-1. I like the team up of Nightcrawler and Wolverine, and that was one of the sickest fights I've ever seen. And you actually get an inside look of what happens when Nightcrawler teleports. It was kind of through the eyes of Logan, but because he pulls Logan through the teleport, and you kind of see what happens. It's pretty fucking cool and spectacular. So, yeah, we got some X-Men here. I love Bishop. I wish there was more of him in the first season of X-Men 97, but I do like this figure. It was my first X-Men 97 figure, Bishop. All right, here we got Sunspot alongside some of his teammates and Quasar. Or I think it's Quasar, right? It's not Starbrand. And then we got Legion, Professor Xavier's son, with a nice Kid and Play fade. And then we got Kid Omega. What we're going to do is we're going to play a little head swap here. See if we can get Kid Omega and Legion in training suits and Green Mutant suits. And then I'm going to try this head. This is about as close as I could get to a Doug Ramsey head. Just Kid. But let's give it a shot. Here he is with the Quasar head. I mean, that could work, but loosey goosey. So it popped on, and it doesn't look half bad. I mean, that could be a Doug Rock or a Ramsey. It'd be cool if you came out with this and it had like a younger, more fitting head, but also have another alt head with like the phalanx like shit kind of crawling all over them. That would be wicked. But yeah, this isn't working. Alright, and here we got Legion. And this doesn't look half bad, but again, with the wobble, that neck, but and these heads are looking a little bit big. They are big for this body, but you can make it work. We have to make some adjustments. And here we got Kid Omega, and once again it's the same old problem, but this one actually locks on to the ball joint pretty well. So doesn't look half bad. Put some power effects on those hands. Here we got Sunspot with 3 villains that showed up a few times during that season of X-Men 97. We have the Executioner right here. It's an okay figure. I don't understand. Like, I know he's got this little post on his staff there to plug into his back, but it's just doesn't make sense for when he's holding it. It's whatever. maybe someday we'll get a comic book interpretation of the character. Here, of course, we got Sinister, and that's the original one. Sauron Build-A-Figure, but I do love this figure. There's a new version where it's a VHS X-Men Wave figure, which is basically the same design and buck as this one, but I believe they just have the cell transfer, like the shadowing on there. And then of course we got Silver Samurai that showed up in quick little guest appearances during X-Men magazine. So more of him in season 2. We just got this guy with the Gamerverse. 2-pack with Wolverine, and I'm hoping we're not getting a third one anytime soon. So there you have it, guys, for comparisons. I'm gonna, do I want to stick at a 6.5? I wouldn't say I'm let down by this guy. I think I might go down to a 6, though, and 6 isn't horrible. It's just, I'm just not feeling it, you know? Too many weird things, from the boots looking cheap as fuck, the gauntlets up on the wrists falling off, and just kind of awkward positioning. And of course, I forgot to mention we have the butterfly joints here, but it just seems like they could have done more. That's out of hand. Like, that's so unneeded. Hell, let's put another shell of hair on there just for fun. Why make me mad, huh? I'm not mad, but it just is. It's a little strange. That's not normal for hair, but hey, good for you, Roberto, for having really thick layers of hair. You fucking little young jerk. So yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. There could have been lots of improvements that they could have done to make this a better figure. I feel like he stands kind of weird because of how his legs are skinny, and I don't know. And the yellow is kind of off to me, so that's just my personal opinion. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Which, you know, I'm not hating on it. It's just facts, you know. It's not as well built as most of the Marvel Legends that I see coming out recently. So that's how I feel. Please like, comment, subscribe if you can. If you can't, that's okay. I appreciate you guys watching. Next one, we're doing Slice and Dice. All right, guys. So peace out. Later.